One of the most puzzling moments in the Bible happens at the foot of Mount Sinai. Just after being delivered from Egypt, just after hearing God's voice and receiving the covenant, the Israelites build a golden calf and worship it. How could they turn so quickly? Was this mere rebellion or something deeper? The traditional view paints it as impatience and idolatry. Moses had gone up the mountain and delayed his return. The people grew restless and pressured Aaron to make them a god to lead them. Aaron collects their gold, fashions a calf, and proclaims, "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you out of Egypt." The story sounds like betrayal, but read more closely and questions emerge. The text doesn't say they were inventing a new god. It says they made a representation. And Aaron's words don't reject Yahweh. Instead, he uses the divine name. Tomorrow will be a feast to the Lord, Yahweh. The golden calf wasn't necessarily meant to replace Yahweh. It may have been a physical image of him based on older conceptions. In the ancient Near East, bull and calf imagery was everywhere. In Canaanite religion, El, the high god, was often associated with bulls. His strength, fertility, and power were symbolized in bovine form. Even Baal, the storm god, rode a bull. Egyptian religion also used bull iconography. The Israelites, recently escaped from Egypt, would have been steeped in this symbolism. So when they built the golden calf, it may not have been pure apostasy. It may have been a regression to familiar symbols, a way of visualizing the divine. In fact, archaeological finds from ancient Israel show bull figurines and even inscriptions that blend Yahweh with older regional deities. In the ruins of Kuntillet Ajrud, a site from the 8th century BCE, inscriptions refer to Yahweh and his Asherah. This suggests that Yahweh worship may have once tolerated physical symbols and divine consorts. Biblical scholars argue that early Israelite religion was not strictly monotheistic. It was likely monolatrous, the worship of one god among many. Yahweh was the chief deity, but not necessarily the only one acknowledged. Over time, as Israel's identity and theology evolved, especially under the reforms of Hezekiah and Josiah, iconography and polytheistic residues were purged. The golden calf episode may preserve a memory of this transition. It wasn't simply a lapse into sin. It was a flashpoint in the struggle between older visual, symbolic traditions and a newer, more abstract form of Yahweh worship. One where God could not be seen, represented, or domesticated. There's also political context. Scholars suggest that the story of the golden calf was written or shaped during a time of rivalry between northern Israel and Judah. In the northern kingdom, calf worship was institutionalized. 2 golden calves were set up in Bethel and Dan by King Jeroboam. The Deuteronomistic historians, writing from the southern kingdom of Judah, viewed this as idolatry and retroactively condemned it. So the golden calf in Exodus isn't just a theological symbol, it's a polemic, a critique of rival forms of Yahweh worship. By portraying the calf as a grave sin, the text delegitimizes any attempt to merge Yahweh with visual, animal-based imagery. The calf becomes a scapegoat for larger cultural tensions between centralized and decentralized worship, between abstract monotheism and embodied ritual, between the Jerusalem priesthood and competing sanctuaries, between the Yahweh of Sinai and the Yahweh of Bethel. In this light, the question changes. It's not just why did they worship the calf so easily, but what did the calf represent? A different Yahweh, an older faith, or a forbidden but once accepted way of seeing the divine? The golden calf is a mirror. It reflects Israel's religious evolution, a snapshot of a people caught between memory and revelation. And the backlash to it signals the tightening control over religious imagery and theology that would define later Judaism. Rather than a simple moral failure, the golden calf may reveal the remnants of a forgotten chapter in Israel's spiritual history, where God was not yet invisible and worship was still visual.